Generate an altruistic motivation for the meditation. For purification of negativities, one needs a very strong wish not to suffer. One needs to clearly understand the cause of that suffering. One needs great care not to engage in the causes for further suffering. And also a clear understanding of the need to purify those negativities that have been accumulated on one's continuum. We need to confess and purify. And for that we need an object of confession, the three jewels. We need to trust wholeheartedly in the three jewels' ability to protect us from that suffering. Just as one needs trust in a doctor's skill and experience to be able to treat your illness, to have the confidence to really follow through with the remedy, the medication, or other instructions. So the Buddha jewel is like a skilled doctor, able to analyze and give correct advice as to the causes of our own suffering and the remedy. The Dharma jewel is like medicine. The meditations we need to do, and the other advice in what to adopt and what to abandon. And the Sangha jewel is like the bedside nurses who are with us, helping us take the medicine in the right dosage and at the right time, showing us how to practice. If we don't turn to the Buddha jewel, then there is no proper path. The Buddha jewel is the teacher, the founder of the path to be free of suffering. He identified the cause of suffering and the cause of happiness. If we don't rely on the Dharma jewel, there is no remedy, no way to counter the causes of suffering or to accumulate the causes for happiness. The actual Dharma jewel is the true paths and the true cessations that we cultivate and that become the actual protection, the realizations. And without the Sangha jewel, there's no help in how to understand the teachings and clarify doubts and practice properly. So we need all three jewels. On this basis, enlightenment will be achieved. So we need really good trust or stable conviction that the Buddha jewel is an unmistaken guide, being free of all faults and having all qualities fully developed. We need stable trust and conviction that the Dharma jewel is to be developed and can be developed on our own continuum, the true paths and the true cessations that will actually give us the protection we need. And we need stable trust and conviction that the Sangha jewel are the support for our practice. So with a strong determination or wish for freedom from suffering and its causes, and knowing that the three jewels has the ability to protect us, then we have a reliable refuge. But the Buddha cannot remove our suffering just by our offerings and prayers. We need to hear the teachings, the pure path to liberation and enlightenment. We need to reflect on them, see if they're valid for us, if we can accept them. And we need to meditate and familiarize with our conclusions. That's the same path that all other beings who've attained the omniscient state of a Buddha have done. And that's the same path that we must follow. And it's the strength of our refuge that relates to the strength of our practice. When our refuge is strong, then any practice we do will be also very strong, very powerful. If we notice that our dedication to Dharma is weak, we can know that our refuge is weak. It indicates we need to hear more teachings and reflect more on the teachings and meditate more to come to really rely on the three jewels. Refuge is crucial for our practice of purification and the accumulation of virtue. It's in dependence on going for refuge that we start the practice of purification. So the first step of purification is refuge and bodhicitta, as this is a Mahayana practice of purification. So just as we understand the need ourselves to purify and turn away from negativities, then we see that that is the same for all sentient beings. The power of our refuge and bodhicitta depends on the power of our motivation. Initially, by hearing about the suffering nature of samsara and the lower realms, we have an immediate wish to be free of falling to the lower realms. And more powerful motivation is really understanding the need to be free of the whole of cyclic existence. And the most powerful motivation is the Mahayana motivation that takes that understanding of one's own situation and applies it to others. One aims to develop the paths of a bodhisattva in one's continuum, aiming for full enlightenment to be a perfect guide for other sentient beings. Really wanting to follow all the past Buddhas, feeling great refuge in Buddha, great reliance on his Dharma, and great need for the Sangha community who follow the Buddha's teachings as companions. Then feel great regret for the negativities one has done. Think of all the negativities one has done in this life. Those you can remember, those we can't quite remember but must have done. As well as all those negativities we must have done in our countless past lives, beginningless past lives. It's really hard to imagine what we might have done, but also by thinking of the negativities that others do that we don't like, we see the terrible actions they do. We must have done all those things because we've had countless beginningless lives and been in every situation. And then think of the negativities that we've encouraged others to do and rejoiced in ourselves and others doing. recall the karmic results that will follow from that great weight of negativity. The negativities cause disturbance in our mind at the time, but they create imprints for suffering rebirths again and again. So make a very strong promise or vow or commitment not to commit negative actions again. Just as if you went to a place for a holiday and it was very cold and you didn't have enough warm clothes, then you'd feel very determined not to repeat that action again. You'd be very careful to make sure you had warm clothes again when you went there. Or if you clearly see the faults of alcohol in yourself or someone else, and you're really determined not to take alcohol through seeing the negative results. So in the same way, we turn away from our negative habits, our negativities of this and past lives. The negativities of others and those negativities we've caused others to do, or rejoiced in others and ourselves doing. So then very strongly determined to take more care to not commit negativities and to purify those negativities we've done, and to actively accumulate virtue. So then the remedy we can use is thinking of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the embodiment of the compassion of all the Buddhas. We're so fortunate to be in the same world as a holy being like His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Feel how he's a perfect example of someone who's gone from being an ordinary being to following the Mahayana path. And visualize His Holiness the Dalai Lama as the pure Sambhogakaya form of the Buddha Chenrezig. Receiving light and nectar from the Buddha Chenrezig. just recite the Gani Mantra or Mani Padme Hum. Initially reciting the mantra while you purify all the negativities of one's body. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. So receiving the light and nectar streaming into oneself as you purify the body. You can visualize yourself as Chenrezig if you've had the initiation. Otherwise, Chenrezig can be in front or on the crown. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani And you can think of all your family and friends, and as well as those who you've harmed or who have harmed you at your heart, together with all sentient beings. And as you purify your own negativities, then the light and nectar is streaming within one's body and out through the pores, also purifying all sentient beings. And now purifying one's speech with light and nectar, and that of all sentient beings visualized at one's heart. now visualizing the light and nectar streaming through one's body, purifying all the negativities of one's mind and the minds of all beings at one's heart. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. And then finally feel that the light and nectar has completely purified one's continuum with very pure refuge and bodhichitta, very strong regret and very strong determination not to follow negativities again. And feel that the remedy, the remembrance of the very kind teacher and holy being, His Holiness, representing all the Buddha's compassion, and the powerful mantra that the Buddha Chenrezig blessed to be a powerful purification method. Feel that that's completely purified one's mind and the minds of one's friends and family, one's community, one's enemies, extending out to all sentient beings, visualized at one's heart. And make a very strong commitment to engage in one's daily activities with strict accordance to the Dharma that we aim to develop within our continuum. A commitment to really transform our mind through knowing what to abandon and what to adopt, and following through with the practice, hearing, reflecting and meditating again and again, just as the past bodhisattvas and Buddhas have done. and think that by this merit may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all living beings to that enlightened state.